In 10th class, today we are going to start our second chapter, that is chemical bonding. So in chemical bonding we are going to discuss a very simple few topics. There are only 3 topics, and these topics are ionic bonding, covalent bonding and dative bonding. Dative bonding is also called as coordinate bonding. So let's start with the covalent bonding, because ionic bonding we have already done in 9th class in detail. So let's start with covalent bonding. So our first topic is covalent bonding. So I will be taking these topics in the short. For covalent bonding, I can say that there is sharing of electrons. Sharing of electrons take place in covalent bonding. Covalent bonding, you can say it can be of a 3 type, where you can get single covalent bond, you can get double covalent bond, you can get triple covalent bond. For example, in a single covalent bond compound, NH3 is the example. Then many other example like H2O is also the example. Whereas in double covalent bonding, example is CO2. Whereas in triple covalent bonding, example is C2H2, ethane gas. However, we will discuss this ethane gas later on in organic chemistry also. So let's start with covalent bonding. Covalent bonding, I already told you it is of 3 types: single covalent bond, double covalent bond and triple covalent bond. So let's discuss now about polar covalent compounds and non-polar covalent compounds. So in polar covalent compounds, first of all, polar covalent compounds. So in polar covalent compounds, we can say that those covalent compounds which can conduct electricity are called as polar covalent compounds. Understood? I think it is very simple. For example, in polar covalent compounds, our main example is H2O, right? Because it can be broken into H positive and OH negative. H positive and OH negative. However, its structure is to be like this: O, H, and here also H, and here we will make delta positive, or you can say it is slight positive, slight negative on oxygen end. These are 2 slight positives and this is slight negative, right? Similarly, one more covalent compound which is polar is NH3. So NH3 structure is to be like this: N here, H here, H here, and 1 H here. So in this is negative, this is positive, this is also positive, and this one is also positive. So you can say that this is also a polar covalent compound. Okay, now we are moving to the non-polar covalent compounds. Non-polar covalent compounds. These are which do not conduct electricity, which can't be differentiated. You can say not differentiated, which cannot be ionized or broken into positive and negative. For example, CO2, C12H22O11. Also, there are some of the dipole molecule are also there. Dipole molecule, a molecule that has both slight positive and slight negative charge, is called dipole molecule. So see this dipole molecule. What is dipole molecule? A molecule that have both slight positive and slight negative charge. and it is called as dipole molecule. I hope you understood these things. Okay, one more thing about this covalent compounds. In non-polar, some molecules are also there. Some molecules in polar. Sorry, some molecules in non-polar. Non-polar, and they are like H2, Cl2, O2. These are perfectly non-polar compounds. Perfectly means they can never conduct electricity. Understood? Okay. So now our main topic is related to electron dot structures of covalent compound. Electron dot structures. Our main topic is electron dot structures. So those students has not learned at least atomic numbers from 1 to 20, and they don't know about electronic configuration. This topic is not for those students, those who have not learned atomic numbers up to from 1 to 20 and electronic configuration. This topic is not for them because they are not going to understand this topic properly, right? For this, you can pause video here and you can move towards 9th class book, and from there you can learn electronic configuration first of all, and then you can learn atomic numbers also. So let's start with electron dot structure. Remember, there is one simple rule for electron dot structure in covalent compounds, that first of all there is sharing of electron, and there you should know how many valence electron. How many valence electrons are there in outermost shell. However, you are not getting my writing properly because in one hand I am holding camera and from one hand I am writing, also watching in the camera also. So try to manage it, because as you know, due to pandemic of coronavirus we can't do much, but at least how much I can do for you I am doing from the home. And in this you should be knowing the outermost shell electrons, or you can say outermost valence electron. You should be knowing in everything. For example, let's take the very common example for making electron dot structure for H2. As we know, there is sharing of electrons in it, right? Without sharing of electrons you can't make the structure. Okay, so let's start H2. In H we are having only one electron in the outermost shell, but here two H are there, right? So one more H is there, one valence electron in its shell. So how to make the structure? Take a good circle in which you can put this H, right? So in this circle now H is having two electrons. So now it acquires stable gas configuration of like helium, and other H is also getting stable gas configuration of helium. So you can say that its electron is useful for him and its electron is useful for him. So it is one kind of a sharing of electron, means one's electron is used by another. So let's discuss another example of covalent bonding, and that is very simple, H2O, right? So I already have made the structure of H2O here, so you can get example from there also, or hint. So how you can draw one H this side, one H this side, and O here. So one electron here, one electron here. Now why I am drawing it with the cross sign? Because oxygen I am going to draw with the small circles, right? So everyone can differentiate that which electron is of oxygen and which electron is of another element like hydrogen in this case. So only one electron is facing towards this side, because as we know one bond between two elements is made up of two electrons at two sides, right? So we can't make electrons 4 or 5 towards this side, otherwise it will be a problem, because in oxygen circle there should be 8 electrons and in hydrogen circle there should be only 2 electrons, because if we draw 2 electrons towards this side, then we are not getting the proper electronic configuration for hydrogen, because otherwise in hydrogen there will be 3 electrons. So let's draw other 6 electrons which are in oxygen. Right, now we are going to draw the circle of hydrogen. Okay, so here hydrogen is stable, but what about oxygen circle? So we have to draw from here. Now in oxygen circle there are already 8 electrons, so this shows that our structure is over. And now you will see that in book structure is been drawn here like this. I am actually seeing the angle here. You can also draw the straight structure like this also, right? Okay, so no problem for the 10th class students. Now let's move to another structure, that is NH3. Very simple structure. For NH3 we can draw N here, H here, one H here, one H here. Let's draw it with the cross. And nitrogen, how many electrons in the outermost shell? 5. But how many electrons can face towards it? Because you know only one bond is made up of only 2 electrons, so only 1 electron of nitrogen will face towards this side, 1 electron will face towards this side, and 1 here. What about other 2 electrons? Let it be like this only, because that are like a lone pair which are not taking part in this bonding. So here one circle for this hydrogen, one for this, and one for this. And then for nitrogen we have to draw a big circle so that all 8 electrons should be there. Remember this, many students are making circle from here only. You have to take hydrogen also in the circle. Okay, so let's start another. I will take now only 2 more examples, and that one example is CO2. Let's discuss now carbon dioxide. So carbon in the center, oxygen are 2, so in the sides. Let's draw the oxygen. Oxygen are having 6 electrons. It requires 2. So how this 2 will be getting from carbon? So its 2 electrons should be facing towards this carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Right? Okay. So this circle is to be like this. 8 electrons in this. This circle is to be like this, 8 electrons, and this will be a bigger circle because electrons are far. So now this carbon dioxide structure is being okay. So you can say that carbon dioxide having double covalent bond type structure. Now last example we are going to take in covalent bonding, and that is, let's take CH4. CH4, methane gas, right? Marsh gas also in many books it is being written. So let's take carbon, 4 hydrogen. So in 4 sides we are making 1, 2, 3, and 4. So hydrogen with the cross, and let's carbon, how many? 4 only in the outermost shell. So let's draw 4 electrons in the outermost shell. Let's structure like this. This circle you have to take the element also inside the circle, but for the carbon you have to draw a bigger structure, because hydrogen can be having helium type of electronic configuration, but carbon have to follow like neon type stable configuration. So 8 electrons in the outermost shell. Remember, we are talking only about 8 electrons in the outermost shell. We are not talking about 2,8 like neon, because we are taking only outermost shell electrons here. So here I am going to finish my video, and in next video we are going to discuss coordinate bonding. So I hope you understand covalent bonding, and these are the 3 structures you can see in one look, right? So I hope you understood, and you will try to do other questions from this.